Back on the show, one of my favorite fighters to chop it up with. It's the Hanyak, Dustin Jacoby, who will be back in action May the 31st at UFC Vegas 107 when he takes on Bruno Lopes. Dustin, how are you?
I'm doing great, man. Thanks for having me on the show once again. And training camp's going great. I'm getting excited for May 31st.
Always great to talk to you. Can't wait to see you back in the octagon. You know, the first thing that kind of stuck out to me when I saw this opponent, I was surprised by the matchmaking. I mean, you're still someone that is right there at the back end of that. I feel like could be cracking into the top 15 again with a win here. And this guy's only had one fight in the UFC. Were you surprised that this is who the UFC matched you up with?
I was, man. I was really surprised. We had to look up tape on Bruno Lopez. The guy's 14-1, so I'm not overlooking him. I think he's very skilled. Of course, won his Contender Series fight, 1-0 in the UFC. So I was expecting somebody ranked a little bit higher, but at the same time, the light heavyweight division is one of the lowest and as far as numbers goes, and there's not many guys in the division. He's 14-1. He's up and coming. Let's test him and see if he's ready for the top tier of the division.
Watching that tape, what stood out to you? Where is he most dangerous?
Well, obviously he's a strong grappler. He brings the Brazilian jiu-jitsu into play, um, but he's not a strong wrestler. He's not a guy that's an all-American wrestler shooting double legs. It's more of he's trying to grab you, he's trying to hang on to you, he's trying to drag you to the floor. I think that plays well into my game. Obviously, I'm not the easiest opponent to take down, and I think my striking is keeps people at bay. I think once people try to get close to me and once we touch up and they feel my power, they rethink that game plan. I think he's going to be relentless. I think he's going to try it by all means necessary to get me to the mat. But I've thought that about the last few opponents I've had, and things have worked out well. So I'm excited, man. I'm going to show up. I'm training. Training's going great. I'm prepared. I'll show up in shape as always, and I'm going to fight my heart out and fight my best. And I'll definitely look forward to getting my hands raised that night.
So with this particular opponent, is it maybe even more important to kind of like take the center of the cage and make sure that you're dictating the pace and not, kind of have your back closer to the cage for those grappling exchanges and takedowns?
Yeah, we're at the apex, so it's a much smaller cage, but it's my job to go in there and set the tone early, let him know that he's in a fight. I think that's what I did well with Vitor Petrino. The guy's a young, had me by younger, 10 years younger than me. And the first time he tried, shooting in on me and taking me down and feeling me, I reversed it perfectly and I hit him with two or three strikes that set the tone for the whole fight. And that's exactly what I got to do against this guy. I got to set the tone, let him know that he's in for a fight, and welcome him to the division. He's only 1-0 in the UFC. So, with him getting his opportunity at a guy like me that I think is, one of the best fighters in the world, just outside the top 15. I've been in the top 15. It's my job to set the tone early.
Do you think he's as dangerous as Vitor Petrino?
To answer that honestly, no, I don't believe so. But at the same time, the guy's 14-1. He is dangerous. He's very skilled. Um, and, you know, every fight is another opportunity to showcase your skills and to prove that I am where I'm at in the division and to prove that he needs a little bit more work to go. And I think I've done that with Petrino. I've done that with all the guys trying to come up. It's the and then I got to go and get an impressive victory so I can get back to guys like Dominic Reyes and Khalil Roundtree, guys that are at the top of the division, fighting the top 10.
We'll circle back to this. Plenty of other stuff I want to ask you about, but very excited to see you back in action. I did speak with you after your most recent victory in, I believe it was December. Obviously, the big KO over Vitor. So we already dissected that and talked about it. What have you been up to since, man? Has it just been kind of maybe a little bit of golf and time away before getting into camp and getting ready for this next one?
Yeah, after that last fight, I broke my foot, which I didn't realize until 3 weeks after the fight. I knew it was banged up. I knew it wasn't in the best of shape, but finally, it was right around Christmas time. We fought December 14th. So I enjoyed the holidays, and then about 3 weeks later, I went in, got the foot checked out. It was broke, so it was already well on its way to recovery, which was nice. It was never displaced. It was healing nicely. And I enjoyed some vacation with my wife. We went back to Florida, back to south of Tampa, a buddy's place in Sarasota, which was absolutely beautiful. I had my guys' golf trip. I was in Biloxi, Mississippi, and playing a lot of golf. Man, I played a lot of golf right off the bat, as much as I could after my foot healed up. But then it was back into training camp. We've known about this fight for about well, let's see, we got 6 weeks left. So we've known for about 8, 9 weeks. And we've just been in the gym training, getting back in shape and, really just getting ready for the next opportunity.
So were you in like a cast or a boot at all with the break? What was the, I guess, the specifics of that?
Yeah, I was in a boot. I had a Liz Frank injury, but it didn't completely break all the way through. It didn't displace. It was definitely broken, but it was not broken all the way through. The bone was still intact. It was still in alignment. So it was tough when I went back. They wanted me in a boot. I had to get in a boot for a few weeks. And really at that point, man, I just tried staying off it the most I can. Laying around the house, hanging out at home, getting some things done around here. So I was doing my best to stay off it. And I realized the severity of it once I did realize it was broken. That thing needed to heal up. And yeah, it's tough when you weren't in a boot the whole time, and then they're like, "Hey, man, you got to get in a boot." I'm like, well, I'm not going to be out ice skating or running around getting on the mats kicking people. I think that's the biggest thing. They're like, you just can't be on the mats kicking people. So I had to enjoy my time off, and but man, it goes fast too. That time off goes so fast. You're always thinking about what's going on in the gym, what opportunity could be next, and then you're right into training. So we've been at it for several weeks now.
I did see with a post you made on Instagram out in the golf course, obviously, you had a pair of Travis Scott Jordan ones on. Are you a sneakerhead? Like, do you have a good collection of sneakers?
I do, man. I really do. I have 5 different pairs of those shoes, all golf shoes. And then I used to be a little bit more. I still do. I'll get new pairs of shoes, but man, I've got so many new pairs of shoes I don't even wear. I haven't even worn out. I just like them in my closet. I don't get too up. But I am going to the fights this weekend in Kansas City, watching some teammates on the card. So I plan on getting a couple nice pairs of shoes out and repping them then.
All-time favorite pair of sneakers. If you could only wear one, what would they be?
Right now, it'd probably be my Hokas, to be honest. Those things are so comfortable, man. But any Jordan lows, any Jordan retros. I'm not on top of the game with the names, but good pair of Jordans, man. Good pair of retro Jordans.
Have I sent you a picture of my collection? I can't remember if I have.
You have, yeah. I know you. I forgot too that you were a sneakerhead. By the way, the Jacoby sweatshirt, I've been noticing it, but that's super cool, man. I love that it's on display and repping.
100%. I can't thank you enough. I absolutely love it. And it fits me real well too. I almost wanted to kind of wear it out, but I'm like, you know what? I'm going to keep it right there and have it on
Well, you
display
can
for
wear it
these
out
interviews.
occasionally, but at the same time, you gotta have it on display.
100%, man. Well, thank you again. That's a very cool gift. I appreciate it a
You are
lot.
welcome.
Um, as far as golf goes, I got to get your take on the Masters and Rory winning. I thought he was going to lose it about 4 different times, and he kept coming back and won that playoff hole. What was your just takeaway on that? How were you surprised at how it ended?
I wasn't surprised by any means. Kudos to Rory. He finally got it done. I think that was inevitable for him, man. Completing the Grand Slam was inevitable, but that goes to show you that it's not ever on your time. It's always on God's time. He has bigger plans, and a great golfer like Rory. I'm not the biggest fan of him as an individual. Everybody I talk to pretty much has the same opinion. He's an opinionated Brit, but at the same time, I appreciate greatness. I think he's a great golfer. When it came down to the final stretch, man, and he was on 18 and he shanked that one in the bunker, and then he had a good little uh, chip out from the bunker. But I just knew he was going to miss that putt, that par putt, and send it into extra innings. By the way, Justin Rose just absolutely went on fire, man, there on that back nine, and played a good round altogether, the all 4 days of the Masters. But I just had a feeling Rory was going to miss that putt. When they go back and they're walking back to the tee box, I called it. I said, you know what, Rory's going to birdie this hole. I just have a feeling he's going to birdie. And then Rose hit and he hit again. I'm like, well, shit, Rose might birdie too. So I thought both guys were going to birdie, but It was an incredible finish. It was fun to watch. I love the drama, and congrats to Rory, man. It's good for him.
Are you friends with anybody on the PGA Tour? Like, are there any golfers that you talk to at all?
No, no, not really. No,
Okay. I'm telling you, if you ever
not
come up,
yet.
if we can coordinate it and you fight in like the greater New York City area, my cousin, the one that was the golf pro at Shinnecock, he teaches in Manhattan and he's got a lot of contacts. I'm telling you, one of these days I got to set you up with him. He can just take a look at your swing and make one little tweak, and I'm telling you, it's a game changer.
Well, I need it, man. I tell you what, the golf's been a little bit shaky for me. I just haven't really turned it on quite yet this season, and putting has been horrendous for me. It's something I've been averaging like 38, 39 putts, if you could imagine that, and shooting 83, 81. I shot an 80 with 39 putts. I mean, imagine taking off five of those. Imagine
Yeah.
taking off nine of those and getting, and I'm a good putter too. That's what's frustrating is I read greens well, and I it's one of my favorite things to do on a course. I love big putts, man, and I just have not been able to put it in the bottom of the cup.
And you did say before we started the interview that Gaethje reached out and he was on the golf course today. He wanted you to go out and play. If you guys are playing 10 rounds in a week, how many are you winning now versus before?
Gosh, I tell you what, before I think the first 10 times we played, I'd won like seven or eight of them. Now, I'm not kidding you, it's 50-50. It's a we so he came out, he enjoyed my guy's golf trip in Biloxi, Mississippi. We had two people. We've been doing this for ten years. And for the first time ever, two guys had backed out last minute because unfortunately they just had to with work. So we were scrambling to find people, and I reached out to Justin, asked if he wanted to, and he was game for it, man. Obviously, he fought the weekend before, so I was kind of nervous he's going to mess his hands up.
Okay.
But no, he got the big win, and then he came and met us, and I won 2 rounds. He won 2 rounds. We do Stableford scoring, cumulative all 4 days, and he scored the exact same number of points as I scored. And so it's crazy, man. We are 50-50. But I tell you what, the thing about it is, I'm still pretty steady in my golf game. Gaethje has gotten quite a bit better. He continues to get better. He plays every day. So it's hard not to get better. But he's shooting I think last week with the Pins and Aces guys, I got him connected with them. He shot a 70 and a 70 two seventies, but one of them was a 70 under par, one under par, the par
Wow.
71. So I tell you what, man, he's pretty dang good. And but it's 50-50 out there.
Has he mentioned anything about fight news for him? Is there anything coming down the line?
No, he was trying to get something by this summer. He wants something for June. He wanted a title shot, but has not heard anything. I don't think that that has been figured out yet. So he's just on the ropes, man, waiting.
Okay. Well, hopefully we can see him back in action soon. He's getting
Yeah, that was a great fight that he had, and Fiziev I thought looked great for being short notice and coming off an injury. Man, he looked really good. So, but Gaethje did his thing, man. He did. He won and won in fashion. Once again, he always puts on a show.
Yeah, one of the most exciting guys to watch in the UFC. There's no doubt about it. Let me ask you real quick just about the 205 division. There's a new champion now. Magomed Ankalaev beats Pereira. Were you surprised by that outcome?
I wasn't surprised by the outcome. I was surprised by the fight that happened. I thought Pereira looked like he held back a little bit. He never really could get things going, but a lot of that has to do with Ankalaev, I'm sure. That guy is. We've been saying it for years, man. I knew he was going to be a champion one day, and he's a big dude. He's very skilled, both on the feet and on the ground, and he mixes it up well. So I just thought the fight was a little lackluster, and Pereira didn't do his thing per usual, but at the same time, like I said, that's kudos to Ankalaev, and yeah, I'm excited to see some new blood there at the top. But no doubt, I'm sure Pereira. I don't know what's new for any of those guys if they have a rematch or if I don't think a rematch is happening, but I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know. Nothing's scheduled, is it?
No, nothing scheduled yet, but I was just going to ask, right? It looks like Ankalaev might be a more difficult stylistic matchup for Pereira. Do you think if they do rematch, the fight would turn out any different?
Man, I don't know if the outcome would be any different. I would think that Pereira may go for it a little bit more. I don't know. It was weird. I thought he just held back a little bit too much, and um, I'm not sure the outcome would be different. Although it very well could be. Pereira's got that special gift, that power, man. That it just takes one little clip and it turns the tides of the whole fight. So, I would not be opposed to seeing a rematch. I'm not sure the outcome would be much different.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. I kind of feeling the same way. What was your reaction to Dominic Reyes' big KO win over Nikita Krylov?
I was super excited for him, man. I actually called that. I saw the odds, and man, I was like, dude, if Reyes wins, he's gonna win by knockout. And uh, Krylov's a guy that he's so unorthodox, and he throws things from all different directions, and that has the ability to get you caught. Exactly what happened. It wasn't even a strong. He wasn't even sitting down on that punch. He was kind of walking backwards and not even stepping down on it, and caught him. And when you fight like Krylov and you're all over the place, and you throw those unorthodox strikes and you get yourself real wide like that, that tends to happen, man. And that's exactly how I saw the fight playing out. So I was extremely happy for Dominic Reyes. That guy never really fell off. He just, he had a mentally that could just mess with you so bad. The John Jones fight that took place, and then you just got a tough run of individuals in a division where everybody has knockout power. Everybody can knock you out in the blink of an eye. So I'm happy to see him back on a winning streak, and like he said, man, maybe one more, maybe a title shot. I think that would be a great fight too. Him and Uncle Ive would be a real fun fight.
Yeah.
He definitely has the power in his left hand to finish anybody. So I was happy to see it.
Yeah, Dominic is number 8 in the division now, so another win, and we very well may be talking about another title shot for Reyes, which I believe he beat John Jones the first time they fought, but that's story
A
for
lot of people did. Yeah.
another day. Yeah. To look forward to June, Khalil Roundtree now is matched up with Jamal Hill. Analyze that for me. What do you think we're going to see in that fight?
Well, man, I think Jamal Hill has fell off a little bit. I think he's fallen off a little bit. I don't know if it's maybe not putting in the work like he was before, or I don't know, maybe getting caught up in what the fans are saying and talking jabbing with them. I just think that they're on a little different trajectory, and I think Roundtree has a good opportunity of winning that fight. I think that he can take the fight to him. He's durable. He's a tough matchup, and it's definitely going to be a fight on the feet. With that being said, man, Jamal Hill has power as well, and I just have not seen the same dog that I've seen prior. Like when he fought Glover Teixeira, that fight sold me on Jamal Hill. I was like, holy crap, man, this guy is good. Like this guy's got a dog in him. This guy will not stop. He don't get worried when he gets dominated on the ground and he gets in bad positions. He just keeps finds a way to get up and finishes strong. I just haven't seen that version the past couple times. So, interesting fight. I'm going to give the edge to Roundtree.
If you had to guess, or what does your gut tell you if I was to say you're going to get a rematch with either Dominic Reyes or Khalil Roundtree, which one do you think is more likely?
More likely, or which one would I prefer?
How about both?
More likely, I think probably Roundtree. I mean, because Reyes is now one more and fighting for the title. And Roundtree, if he loses to Jamal Hill, Roundtree for sure. If he beats Jamal Hill, then I think those two are going to come on a crash course. Dominic Reyes and Khalil Roundtree. As far, I was arguing with my buddy about this. As far as the two fights, and I hate saying that. I mean, I support Reyes. I reached out to Reyes after. I would rather fight Reyes again than Roundtree again. I think I like the matchup. I like his size. For whatever reason, I do better against bigger guys. I just got caught in that night. He just hit me with a left hand, which was a home run punch, was everything he had, and it got me, man. He possesses that power. Of the two, I think I think I beat both of them. I want to say that first and foremost, but uh, for the rematch, I would rather take Reyes, man. I think it just does more for me. It's a bigger name on my resume, and not saying Roundtree's not. I just would prefer that one.
And I think in your heart of hearts too, you probably know that you beat Khalil Roundtree in the first fight.
100%, man. In the heart of hearts, I think that he knows. I mean, we talked, we stood there and looked at each other in the eye right after that fight. And the first thing he said to me was, "Man, I just wanted to prove I wasn't a pussy to you." I was like, "Bro, I never said you were a pussy." And I've said this story a million times, but I never called him a pussy. I just said I think he's a little, can be a little soft, and you just got to work on that. And just right there when I shook his hand, man, we looked at each other in the eye, and he had his head down, and he knew that I edged that one, and it was a great fight, and kudos to him. He's a great fighter. I'm not talking smack on him or any of the guys I fought, man. I have mad respect for all of them. They're great fighters, and I don't want to lose to a bad fighter, and I'm only fighting the best of the best. So everybody that I fight, I want to see them go on and have success. I want to see them, continue doing a Dominic Reyes. I want to see Roundtree, continue on. And like I said, those two both win. They could be on a crash course as well. So that'd be a fun fight
No
as
doubt.
well.
Let me ask you a little bit about camp at Factory X. I want to talk to you about Cody Brundage, his big win over Julian Marquez, and now he's got a matchup. Abdul Malik, really, huge up and coming prospect that a lot of people feel like, maybe one day could be a champion. First, just tell me like the joy that you felt as a teammate, as a friend for that big win that Cody had over Julian, and what do you think of the next matchup that he has with Abdul?
Yeah, I was super excited for Cody. It was one of those moments that was really bittersweet because of him fighting Julian Marquez, who was a former teammate of ours. And, the three of us remained training partners at Factory X, and Julian left. So when that fight went down, it was odd. And I told Julian this, like, he's like, next time, let's not be enemies, is what Julian says. Like, bro, we were never enemies. And in fact, I just never even put a name with a face, or I never just put it together. I just knew Cody had a fight, and Cody is my teammate and my boy, and we grind together, we train together. I corner him. I want to see him victorious. So it wasn't even until after he had fought Julian. I never once leading up to the fight was thinking, "Oh, we're gonna kick Julian's ass." I was thinking we have an opponent here. I know his strengths. I know his weaknesses. I know that he's gritty on fight night. So we better be ready to get after it. And Cody proved that to himself, and I was extremely happy for him. And like I told Julian, I was like, it was nothing personal, man. I never even thought about it until afterwards, and I took time to reflect. And it was crazy. It was almost one of those moments where I kind of had a tear in my eye. Like, man, I felt terrible for Julian because he was getting cut. I thought that the harsh reality is the loser of that fight was getting cut. So with Cody being victorious, I was extremely happy for him. He gets a new contract. He's got a tough opponent coming up who, gosh, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to be there. My wife, her college roommate, it's her wedding day, and we've had that trip planned for the entire year, for a year. And it's right after my fight, so we had a bunch of things planned, and unfortunately, I'm not going to be there that night. So that hurts my heart, but at the same time, Cody's looking great in training camp, and we're having good goes together. I'm a bigger, longer, stronger guy, so he's getting good goes with me. And my guy's shorter, stouter, good wrestler. So it seems to always match up that way with Cody and I. We're great in the training room together, and I'm extremely happy for him.
You like his chances against Abdul Malik? You think if he performs his best, he can realistically win this one?
Oh, absolutely, man. I like Cody's chances in any fight. If he can just, you should see him spar on a Friday. You should see him move in the gym, and he's extremely confident in the gym. He's extremely loose. He's always talking, always yapping, trying to get people, fired up and getting after it. And man, if you can see what I see on a regular basis, and then we still got so much room for improvement because even this fight with Julian. I'm watching and I don't see the same movement as I see on a Friday when we're sparring. And it's like we just got to get past that whatever mental block, the experience, the nerves, the everything about a fist fight, man. Fist fights are scary, and especially at the highest level. And then, kudos to Julian, who's a guy that on fight night, that guy's super gritty. In the training room, whatever. And on fight night, that guy brings it each and every time. So it was great to see Cody get through that one, another notch on the belt, as they say, and another battle tested, and just sharpening yourself in iron, forged in fire, and walking, going through it to get to it. And I think that's what he did. And yeah, I'll take Cody's chances on against it on any given night against any opponent.
I love it, man. Can't wait to see him back in there and at his absolute best. This will be like the Cody Brundage 2.0 here moving forward. So hopefully that is the case. Forgive my ignorance, but is this upcoming fight that Anthony Smith has, is this his last one?
Yeah, it's his last one, man. This is retirement fight. So we're gonna go out there, my wife and I, and we of course we got Chris Gutierrez on the card, David Onama, and Anthony Smith is his last official UFC fight, his retirement night. So that's gonna be bittersweet too. That's a guy that I came up with. There were talks of Anthony and I fighting each other many different times from the beginning of our career in 2010, and never materialized. And we fought on the same shows. I fought his teammates, he fought my teammates, and just all coming up together and walking the same path. And 2016, he ended up at Factory X, and we became training partners. And I was a big help for him with the John Jones fight. And yeah, man, it's bittersweet just knowing, heck, we're the same age. I got him by a couple months. I just turned 37. His birthday's right behind me, so his birthday's here in another month or two. But yeah, man, it's one of those things just sad to see because in the big picture, I realized I'm definitely towards the end of my career as well. Still going strong, I like to think, and definitely feeling a little bit more. But as long as I keep producing inside the octagon, that's what really matters, and that's when I'm going to keep going. But yeah, we'll be there this weekend, man, to support those guys.
I'm curious what kind of a person Anthony is, around someone like you that's a training partner and friend. Can you maybe tell a story that maybe the public doesn't know about, just about Anthony, that maybe one that kind of like speaks to who he is as a person?
Well, I tell you what, man, Anthony came up from nothing and has done very well for himself here in his UFC career and his fight career in general. And one thing about Anthony, man, he is very generous, very generous. He takes care of those around him. Um, he takes care of his people. And, I can tell you a story back in 2019 when he was fighting John Jones. And, well, I think that fight was 2018. Was that 2018? I think that fight was 2018. John Jones. It was March. Yeah, it was 2018. And that was the first year I broke my arm the second time, and so I was out of the gym for like 8 months. I was working at FedEx. A buddy of mine was owned FedEx routes, and I was just working for him, man, and enjoying time away from the gym and enjoying just not grinding, not fighting. I've been fighting professionally for 7 or 8 years at the time, and I break my arm, so I take my time away. Well, then Anthony comes in the gym. He's training John Jones, and him and Coach both reach out to me like, "Hey, man, Anthony says that I could really use you. You'd be a good look. Maybe get you back into the swing of things. Maybe get you loving fighting again, and get you back on a roll." And Coach reached out and said the same thing. I'm like, "Okay, cool." I go in and it was rough the first couple of weeks just being off for all that time, but I did. I found some love for it, and I went through that whole camp with him. Anthony brought me out to that fight, and we were out there. Of course, things didn't go his way, but took care of everything that whole trip, and um, and I was not struggling, but it's not like I was had a bunch of money and really thriving. And a few weeks after his fight, I get this random check from him for $3,500, which was, he got paid 350K, I think, for the title fight, and gave me a percent of that purse just for being in camp with him. And I had no idea that was coming. And at the time, I remember that meant so much. Just that $3,500 is like, holy crap! That it just really was able to catapult us forward a little bit and just meant so much, man. So that's one thing I'll say about Anthony, man. He's extremely generous to those around him. He knows what it's like to come from nothing. And I'm super happy for him to see what he's turned his career into, what turned his life into, the ESPN gig, the full-time Disney employee with ESPN. And, super proud of him, man. And it's really cool coming from where he comes from.
That's a really cool story. I appreciate you sharing that, man. That is very cool. He does a phenomenal job on the desk too, so I'll be excited to see him in that role for a long time moving forward.
Sure, man. He really does, man. He's great to listen to. His breakdowns are great, and like you said, man, and kudos to him. And that'll be fun to listen to him. And that's his full time gig, and just enjoying it.
Hopefully, he gets this win and can go off on a high note. Let's circle back and put a bow on this one. I know we're running a little bit longer, but as far as this upcoming fight goes, UFC Vegas 107, again, May the 31st. Tell me, DJ, will you be walking out to Tom Petty or is it going to be Lil Wayne again?
Man, I don't know. I just got asked this question the other day, and I have not quite decided. I don't. And in fact, over the weekend, Easter weekend, we were back home. My in-laws, we were celebrating their 50th wedding anniversary, and of course, Easter Sunday and Saturday night or Friday night. One of the nights, my father-in-law were sitting there at the table, and he was giving me all these ideas for walkout songs. So, not now. I can tell you this: not a single one of his am I picking. So, it's gonna be here, and I let him know that too, but. Tom Petty, Little Wayne. I don't know. It'll most likely be one or the other, but we'll see how I'm feeling come fight week.
Sounds good. Corners, are those still going to be the same?
Yep, I got the same corners: Mark Montoya, Randy Caruso, Cody Brundage, and unfortunately, those guys are taking their time to be with me that weekend. Go get another big victory inside the octagon, number 21 and number 10. So looking forward to it, man.
And if you had to give me an official prediction, do you have one? How do you think this fight is going to end? Are you clipping them, getting them out of there, or do you think maybe
I'm
this could go to a decision?
I'm clipping them. I'm getting them out of there, man. I'm clipping them. I think that I get it done. I think that I catch them, and I think that I set the tone early and finish it quick.
And if that is the case, Dustin, you're healthy, good turnaround time. How many more fights would you like to have here in this calendar year?
Well, I tell you what, this is the third fight on this contract, so I need to go out there. It's an important one, man. I need to go out there and put on a good performance, get a big win, sign a new contract with the UFC, and of course stay busy. I'm thinking Madison Square Garden. Am I still sideways? Is everything still good?
Everything's good.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm thinking Madison Square Garden. I was talking with Thomas Jabassi yesterday, and he's like, "You need to get back to New York." So I'd like the Madison Square Garden card in November. I think that'd be perfect.
I love it, man. Well, as always, it's a pleasure talking to you. Can't wait to see you back in there, getting your hand raised. Before we do sign off, I want to give you the floor. Anything you want to plug, anyone you want to thank? The floor is yours.
Yeah, man. Same people as always. My team at Factory X and Land Up Performance and Barwis, Ridium Sports Agency, my family, friends, Pins and Aces. For my golfers out there listening, go to Pins and Aces, use the code Hanyak, get 20% off your order. And it's some of the best gear in the golf game. They've got mad swag located right here in Denver, Colorado. So I support those guys big time. They support me. And yeah, man, looking forward to my opportunity May 31st and showing people that, I'm very, very still relevant in the light heavyweight division.